We're here at Tender Greens in Culver City, California, where we're gonna learn how to make their happy vegan salad. Let's go inside. Join us on Get the Dish. Find out the secrets behind the signature dishes at famous eateries and how you can recreate them at home. Known for their use of local, fresh, farm-to-fork produce and the philosophy to serve chef-inspired seasonal dishes at an affordable price, Tender Greens was named one of America's fastest-growing private companies by Inc. magazine. Chef Roy Arendse is going to show us how to make one of their most popular signature dishes, Tender Greens Happy Vegan Salad. Chef, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you, Brenda, for having me over here. I'm so excited to introduce the Happy Vegan to you because I've heard that all the girls over here at Pop Sugar love this dish, so
That
I'm
is
very
an understatement.
happy.
We are obsessed with the Tender Greens Happy Vegan. That's the only thing that I order.
So all guys out there, if you guys want to meet a lot of girls, get to know how to make the Happy Vegan at Tender Greens.
All right, well, let's start over here because there are so many components.
Okay.
Tell us about the first component in the Happy Vegan.
Over there we have quinoa, and quinoa is a very famous Aztec grain found in South America. It's also known as a superfood. And you know, I've made this dish so many times at the restaurant, so I'm gonna have Brandy jump into this whole thing for us.
All right.
Over there we have the quinoa. What Brandy's gonna do now, she's gonna add some radish, thinly sliced radishes into it, okay? Beautiful.
Gives a nice crunch.
You know it. Keep on going. Keep on, don't stop now. We got the, what's that, cucumber?
Cucumber.
We got golden beets, and we have CHIOGGIA beets, which is more like a beet that's pink in color.
All right, toss this around.
Mix it
now,
around.
What are the next elements I'm gonna
Oh,
add?
why don't you put the dill into that?
Okay.
The dill will give it that salad a lot of earthiness, okay? And then we're gonna add the lemon, freshly squeezed lemon juice, and olive oil. And the most important thing in any type of cooking is that we need to season the food, salt and pepper. Brandy, why don't you go ahead and season that, okay?
All right.
You're doing a good job. I see you're a professional over
This
here.
looks so good.
It definitely does. You know why it's looking so good? Because you get the magic touch going on here.
Well, I'm glad you're here to teach me how to make it. Okay.
So Brandon, I think you should taste that. Let's see how you've done.
I love those beets.
That's totally fantastic.
And the dill. I could eat this by itself.
Me too. But let's move on and do the other salads also. What do you think?
Okay,
Let's
great.
move on to the farro.
So tell us about farro. Where can you find farro? What does it taste like?
So all these grains, including the farro, you can get at Whole Foods. I would go to the section where you don't get the pre-packaged goods. Please, you're gonna be paying way too much money. Go in the corner, get the bag, and weigh yourself your little grains, okay, folks? It's easy to get. And as you can see, with that salad, we have different components that make the salad. We have the toasted hazelnuts, dried cranberries, and over here we have kale, olive oil, and golden balsamic.
Oh, okay, so I'm gonna add
Brandy,
these.
you wanna add that? Yeah.
Yep.
You're doing good.
So each one of the locations at Tender Greens is chef-driven. So they all have those signature classic dishes, but then each chef kind of gives it its own spin, right?
Yes, they do. Myself at Marina Del Rey, I used to cook in many Italian restaurants, so what I do at the Marina Del Rey locations, I make specials, Italian specials, a lot of pasta, and also since I'm from South Africa, I do a lot of South African dishes like curries.
Yeah, how does your background play into some of the dishes that you choose?
Well, you know, since we are all chefs, we all have a passion, and our passion resonates a lot from where we come from, and that plays a large part on our food.
Great. All right, so I'm stirring this around.
Don't forget to put the salt and pepper in that too, okay?
Yes, salt and pepper.
The most important component in cooking. It brings out all the flavors that you need. You're good with the pepper, Mal, I see.
This looks so good.
Yeah.
You know, when I first tried this, the hazelnut was really unexpected because I have to admit, the only hazelnut I ever eat is in Nutella.
Hey.
I never eat just hazelnuts raw.
Hazelnuts, you have to toast them. If you toast them, it'll bring the oils out of them and make them more flavorful. It's much harder to eat a raw hazelnut because it's much more chewy.
Right, okay, so we have two components done. Now to the third one, and Chef, can you make these ahead of time?
Yes, you can. You can actually make this a day ahead. You know, if you're gonna have a party today or a party tomorrow, make it today so it's easy for you to replicate the next day. Just put it on a plate and serve it to your friends.
Great. All right, what about this? This
All-
kind of looks like couscous.
bulgur wheat. Similar, and it's cooked the same way. I'm not sure if anybody knows how to cook couscous, but if you're cooking this, just get boiling water, pour it over the top of the bulgur wheat, close it with a plastic wrap, and when the water has absorbed into the bulgur wheat will be ready. Now, remember, in making all these ingredients, you have to make sure your grains are very cold, because then you're going to add the other components that make the dish.
You don't want to kind of cook them or get them soggy, right?
Yep. So what I would do now, since it's been cooled down, you can add your tomatoes. Okay. We're using Roma tomatoes right now. We got red onions. Beautiful. And over here, if anybody wants to know what is in this green sauce over here, so Brandon and myself earlier, instead of chopping the parsley and chopping the mint and making, using a knife, what we did is take a Roboku or a Cuisinart or a Vita Prep that I have. Just put all the components, the parsley, the mint, the oil, the lemon juice in it and puree it. And when it's pureed into that texture, just pour it right over.
So this is Tender Green's take on a tabbouleh?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yum. That mint really makes it fresh.
I'm gonna help you and put some salt and pepper. Okay. Again, as we've spoken before, salt and pepper are the most important components in cooking. It'll bring out the flavors. And I tell people, if it doesn't taste good, just add a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper. But be careful never to put too much in it, because if you put too much in it, you can never take it out.
Right, so it's always to just add a little bit and keep adding.
Yeah. Wow, that looks amazing already. That looks ready.
All right, now, I think what's really interesting about Tender Greens is you do use fresh seasonal produce, but I love the relationship that you have with the local farms. And everything is from California, and I know you guys are really eco-friendly. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, being sustainable is an important part of us. The oils, the vinegars, the citrus, these are all California grown stuff.
Oh, well, anytime someone visits from out of town, I take them to Tender Greens, because I feel like Tender Greens is the epitome of fresh California cuisine.
Hey, I'm gonna agree with you with that. You know why? Because I eat Tender Greens every day of my life.
I know, and you're so lucky. All right, Chef, this looks fantastic. So we have these 3 salads done. The green hummus is next, which, by the way, you gotta watch the video to learn how to make the delicious green hummus. And why don't we go ahead and plate it?
So what I'm gonna do right now, since I've plated many of these plates before, I'm gonna let you make the plate.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and make this vinaigrette that's gonna coat these greens over here to finish the dish. Over here we have a little bit of sherry vinegar, a little bit of honey, and olive oil. And as any vinaigrettes are worked or done, basically it's 1 part vinegar to 3 parts olive oil. So what over here is the 1 part of the sherry vinegar. I'm gonna throw some honey in it to sweeten it up, because sherry has a little bit of tartness. I'm gonna throw the olive oil in. And as we know, very important is always to season everything you make. It's a vital part of our cooking. So I see you doing a great job in plating that over there. Don't forget to put the hummus over there, okay? And while you're doing that, I'm gonna mix my dressing up over here. Oh my gosh, that looks great.
I'm salivating over here.
And let's do the finishing touches to this dish. These are the tender greens that we get from our farm called Scarborough Farms, which is in Oxnard. And this is locally grown. And just drizzle this on here a little bit. Make sure not to drizzle too much, because you don't want your greens to be super wet. And I'm gonna toss it lightly. I don't like to use tongs because it bruises the greens. I like to use my hands. Feel free to use your hands, because you'll be playing with the greens really gently. And here we go. Let's finish it up.
Right in the middle. That is such a beautiful plate.
That's the Tender Greens moment right there. The happy vegan makes you happy.
All right, Chef, I cannot wait to try this. I gotta get every single little component.
Go ahead, because you know what? I can't wait to try it too. You know why? Because I didn't make it this time. You made it, so it tastes a little different. Hummus is really, really good. You did a good job, Brandy.
Oh my gosh, the Happy Vegan is so delicious. It's flavorful. And the Happy Vegan is the epitome of Tender Greens. Fresh, good food.
That's why I love my job. We know where everything comes from, and that makes me happy. And it makes me happy that I can make you happy today with the Happy Vegan.
That's right, Chef. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having me, and I can't wait to be back. Can you please bring me back one more time?
Come back tomorrow.
I can definitely do so, because you know why? There's a lot of ladies outside that want to taste the Happy Vegan too.
I'm Brandy. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Pop Sugar.